and welcome to Apocalypse Keys, a mini-series going through the module, The Parasitic Library. Apocalypse Keys is a game published by Evil Hat and written by Ray Najati. And thank you so much to Evil Hat for sponsoring these episodes. We're super excited to showcase Apocalypse Keys to you. And if you're a fan of monsters and emotions and, you know, the idea of the apocalypse wiping this slate clean of our entire existence, then you're in the right place, pal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we jump into gameplay, let's go around the horn and have everybody introduce who they are and who they will be playing today, but save in-depth descriptions for the intro part of our story, please. Austin, you want to kick us off?
Oh, shit. Hey, what's up? I'm Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. You're not only playing Dia, whose pronouns are she, they. I think that's all I was told to say.
Viditya?
Hey everyone, I'm Viditya. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing Ria, who uses she, her pronouns.
Amazing. And Sam?
Hello, my name is Sam. I go by she, they pronouns, and I will be playing Vita, who uses they, them pronouns.
Amazing. And I'm Vanna. I'm going to be your keeper today, leading these amazing cast members in, you know, vague directions. And maybe something extraordinary will occur. I think it's a high likelihood. But
I would hope so.
A bit. What if it was just boring the whole time?
It's just office drama the whole time.
Y'all just go to the library and just pick a nice read.
I think I wouldn't make that weird, then that's on you. I'll make it. I promise. Try me. Try me. That's a threat.
I love a challenge. But quick housekeeping, we do have some commands for today. They're also in the title. If you forget them, some are on timers, and mods will be putting them in the chat throughout gameplay to remind you. But ! Evil Hat will get you some information on the publishers for this game. And also a special, there's two coupons. There's a special Pride coupon, Pride 23, to get 15% off select items. It's mostly Apocalypse Keys and I almost said lipstick lesbians. That's not what it's called.
Not the same.
Thirsty Sword.
You called?
Thirsty Sword lesbian stuff. But if you missed that window, Evil Hat also hooked us up with a special key just for the mini-series, and that key is Vanna Keys, and you will get 15% off the limited edition accessories for Apocalypse Keys until July 31st, which just happens to be my birthday. The game did just come out, so the hard copies of the full games won't be included in the discount, but they are worth the full purchase. This is the regular version of the book, thick, and then this is the special edition one, which is so mysterious. What is this? What is this?
I love it.
Empty black box in the center.
I like the idea of you getting that to your house and you leave it on the coffee table. You don't tell anyone in your house what it is.
Yeah.
You leave it shrink wrapped. You leave it shrink wrapped on the table, and your friends are like, "What is that?" And you're like, "Don't worry about it."
Don't
like,
bring attention. Don't bring attention. But the discount will work for the special Apocalypse Key USB. I've got to do the makeup thing. Isn't that cute? And then they also have the tear pads for your mystery maps. And then also they have printed copies for all the different playbooks in the game.
Oh my god.
Aren't those cool?
These are beautiful.
And they've got really like velvety covers, and then you can have your character all in one place. So the discount will, the Pride discount and the Vanna discount will work on all of those things, but not the main hard books. Other things, !keys to learn more about just a quick synopsis of the game. !AK cast to see who we're playing with today, and get their pronouns and links to their Twitter pages. And then you can also do AK tips. We have a pally.gg put together. Our goal today is $200 if you want to contribute towards that. And if you tip at that link, that money is split evenly between all of us. So very much appreciated. And also, you can check out AKCW for content warnings. This story that we're doing today specifically has a lot to do with like memory loss. And then Apocalypse Keys in general has a lot of themes of the end of the world, supernatural forces, the occult, parallels with racism and marginalization, possession, death, mind manipulation, and hallucinations. And that's not an exhaustive list. I'm sure as we go along, things will come up. We do have safety tools in place for our players with a lines and veils sheet, as well as an X and an O system. But if you become uncomfortable at any point, please just step away and take care of yourself first and foremost. And hopefully we can catch you back on a different episode that is more comfortable for you to be here with us. But prioritize yourself. And I think that's everything. I think the only thing I forgot to make a command for is, and I'll just pop the link in chat, but go follow Ray, the writer, on Twitter. So you can make sure to catch all the stuff they're working on and get their insights into the game and just support an awesome queer trans creator. So, anything else? Give yourself a kiss. You deserve it. Yes. O for okay, X for immediate stop, and then N for a veil. Mwah! Thank you so much to Estelle for the $10 tip to the team and DJ Regular for the $20 tip to the team. We're already at $30 for the episode. Thank you so much. Hi, Ray! There's Ray themselves. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for writing this game, and we're super excited to play it. So without further ado, I think let's go ahead and jump in, shall we? Apocalypse Keys is a game where the world is similar to ours, but within it there are monsters, and within the monsters there are extremely powerful monsters, extra powered, super powered, you might call them, monsters that are known as omens. And often omens are recruited by Division, which is a government agency that is in charge of basically keeping the apocalypse from happening. And they work in tandem with omens to utilize their powers to do just that. So that's all of our players today. But there are multiple offices of Division, and we are at a specific one. And we need to kind of work together to build what the Division building, the unit, the people that are there, the place that it's located, in our minds for ourselves, but also for our audience. So I'm going to have each of you answer a question about Division. Let's go in reverse order. Sam, where is Division located? And are there many branches or just this one?
Why did my brain go say Gotham City?
So Newark, New Jersey.
Influence.
Oh my God,
Austin's influence.
horrifying. I think that I'm never gonna get over Gotham City. Oh my God. Okay, I think the main location is in Montpelier, Vermont, and I think there are like branches in a couple of corners, like small hidden corners of other countries around the world.
Okay, so this is like the U.S. branch.
I think so, yeah.
In Mount Pelia, Vermont.
Yes, that's where I'm at.
Why did you choose that?
I couldn't honestly tell you.
Vermont.
But it was better than Gotham City, which probably
I
would have
mean-
gotten us some sort of copyright strike. So
Yeah,
That's
no.
true, I guess.
Again, you could have gone with Newark, New Jersey,
I
which
could have
is
gone, you know,
Gotham City.
there might be another.
Wait,
branch
it's
in
not New York.
Is it a wait? Is it like
No.
hold on? Is Newark like the satellite office? That could work.
Yeah.
Why not?
New York's the satellite office, okay? the
Am I wrong?
embassy.
Is Metropolis supposed to be New York, and then Gotham is like right across the river from it or
I
something?
I
Am
think
I wrong
so,
about
yeah.
that?
It's something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Branches in other countries. Okay, so this is sort of the hub of the U.S. Why do you think? I know you don't know, Sam, but why do you think Division chose this location? Like, is it remote? Also, Austin and Vidiji, you can jump in too if you have a suggestion. Is it because it's remote? Is it because like the resources that are nearby? Like, what? Why Mount Valley, Vermont?
I don't know a lot about Vermont. Is it because it's like kind of in the middle of nowhere? Is that like we're dealing with monsters, right?
Montpelier is so it's the capital of Vermont.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like Vermont itself is very woodsy.
Mm.
And so I think that makes sense to me because it's like not as I guess populated. Like there's not gonna be as much foot traffic.
Woodsy
right?
provides like cover and remoteness for the office. I love it. Beautiful. Okay. Viditya, what about Division is mundane?
I kind of want to lean into I think it works like any corporate office.
Yeah.
Right? Like its mundanity is like, I don't know, you gotta punch in and out.
Yeah.
It's got cubicles, like you expect it to be really cool and stuff, but actually there's just a bunch of office chairs everywhere. There's meeting rooms.
The copier is always broken.
Oh my God.
It's very office-y. Like I think that's just fun. That's the mundane.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
love
even if you like kind of walk by the building, you're like, that's just an office complex, right? There's nothing like supernatural about its
it looks like a regular office complex, and it is a regular.
It is a regular office complex. Like, of course, you go into the sub levels, and maybe the elevator opens, and there's a demon chained around something, but it's like it's still got shitty carpet under it, like.
It's that like ugly brown.
It's that
plasticky, crunchy.
We're all picturing the same ugly carpet. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm picturing like flickering fluorescent lighting constantly.
Oh, the fluorescent light. Yeah.
Like it just makes.
That's our coworker, okay? And they have a name.
Yeah, what's their name?
Jim.
Jim's
Jim.
the flickering light monster.
Jim doesn't have a physical form anymore and communicates through the lights flickering. Jim would like more coffee, please.
How does Jim consume the coffee?
You don't look at it. You don't look at it when Jim
More
consumes it.
importantly, how does Jim take their coffee?
You leave it in the cubicle that says Jim on it, and you walk away and you don't look back.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Jim already.
Is it Dunkin' Donuts since it is New England?
Yes.
Yeah.
America runs on Dunkin'.
Oh
yeah.
And so does Jim.
I love it.
Doesn't have a physical body.
In my head, Jim was Ted Lasso, but now is this.
Is now.
Oh no, not Ted.
Oh my God. So I imagine all of you have to accommodate your coworker. Of course, you've all learned like Morse code. Is it sort of like a psychic way that he communicates, or is it a feeling?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
You know when you talk to a
Communicates
toddler
through
and you know
vibes.
you're like, they're not saying words, but you get exactly what they want.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
do.
yeah.
It's like that.
That's fun. I love that.
You like never know what they're saying. They're like, and you're like,
my
okay.
God.
And you give them juice, and you're like, how'd you know? I don't know.
I don't know. It's just a
It's the
vibe.
essence of it,
I'm obsessed.
I do think that's good. Like, we're filled with like weird little things. I think it's like our coffee machine is probably also haunted, right?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
absolutely. Yes. Then the next question I was going to ask actually to Austin was, what about Division is strange? I guess you sort of felt
Jim
you
is
vibed
not
the question
strange.
coming. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Jim
no.
is totally normal.
Okay, so what is strange about
Yeah,
Division?
this is a part of the normal. Right.
Oh my God.
I think there is. It is where an office should be in an office park, but it's not. It is there and not there. It's like no way in or out, but you're at work when you're supposed to be, and you're not at work when you're not supposed to be. No one disturbs the spot where it is, kind of thing. Like it's like because it looks someone from the outside. So I think it's like a thing of like, it looks someone from the outside. Sans there's no windows, no doors. Even though on the inside we have windows and doors. And people, I think it's like the kind of thing, you know, when like you think about something that's really weird, but for some reason you can't like focus on it. It's like that.
Can I ask a question?
Sort of like
Yes.
the floaties in your eyes that you get sometimes.
Yes. Someone said, can they ask a question?
If there's no way to or from and no way like in or out, is that how HR gets, or I guess it's accounting, gets away with not giving us like commuter funds?
Yes. You don't commute, you just are here now.
You
You're
just
just
are.
Yeah. It's like you open a door, and if you like kind of imagine enough, you're like, I gotta go to work, and then you open the door and you're at work.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all for
Okay.
tax deductive reasons.
That's kind of it. There's like we can kind of have agents all across the U.S., but
It's
every
like remote
day,
work, but it's not.
but it's not.
I think it's very much like normal people that aren't connected to it, like see that there's a weird building with no windows or doors, but whenever they try and focus in on like that's weird, something just like tickles their brain and they go do something else. They like go about they like, go about their life.
Yeah.
It's
I
kinda
love
like a
it.
built-in camouflage, like
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. And then this is fun. Let me present one more to the group. What is your maybe each of you can answer this actually. What is each of yours favorite area of Division?
Like physical area of the building,
Yeah.
or like branch
Yes,
of
physical
Division? Okay.
area of the building, or metaphysical. Who can say? Like in a regular office building, you know, there would be like the break room, right? Your cubicle.
Dia's favorite location in the building is the sub basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to go down there and wait long enough for the motion sensor lights to turn off and just sit there in the dark, in like total darkness.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is there any so I don't know that I personally have ever experienced a sub basement. Is it it's just unfinished? Is that the implication, or it's a basement
like,
under a basement? Is that what it's
yeah, it's like more basement. Like you could say basement. I don't know, like I'm not an architect, but I know something makes a basement a sub basement.
Okay.
Sure.
Versus just like being another floor. But like I go down into essentially maybe it's more like a bunker, like underneath everything,
Sure,
and
yeah.
I just sit there in the dark. It's total silent when you close the door.
So is it empty? Is there stuff in there? Like, do you ever run into other people? Are you the only one that ever goes to the sub basement? Is it haunted?
I run into like
like what's
I run
going
into
on?
like the cleaning crew and they come down there and disturb me sitting in total darkness and silence.
Is this like essentially a storage unit?
Yeah, like
Probably.
storage,
Yeah.
used for
Or
storage.
like people use it for storage and stuff. Yeah.
I was like, if it's full of stuff, it's full of like stuff like
Mm.
files or like
Skeletons.
people don't know where to put that like skull, so they put
Yeah.
it down there.
There's like a stack of grimoires that we just don't know.
Oh
what to
my
do
God.
with.
I love a stack of grimoires. Huge fan.
The blank black book, the Vanagot. It's
Oh
just
my
like,
God. That's right. My grimoire.
That's where they keep. That's where they keep all the deluxe copies of Apocalypse Keys. Yes, it is canon in this universe.
Yeah, you might
Oh my
you might
God.
think, wait, the game is canon in the game? Yeah,
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
again, don't
Don't think
focus
don't
on
think
it.
too
about
hard.
it.
answering the
Don't think
universe.
too hard.
Don't worry about it.
What's that over there? Okay, since this seems to be a not often used area, is Dia hiding or storing anything down here? The
Yeah.
answer can be no.
The answer is yes.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah.
I think Dia is hiding the answer down here.
The answer.
Ooh,
That gave me goosebumps. It's so vague.
it's so vague.
Okay, and we're going to elaborate on that maybe later.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I love this.
All right. What is Ria's favorite area in Division?
I'm kind of torn between a few ones. I think I'm gonna go with my gut and say like there's probably a weapons range or something, like a firing range. Um, right? Like so I think that might be Ria's favorite place. Like Ria's not like like I'm playing the Surge playbook, which we can get into later, but I think like Ria's whole thing is like I just need like an outlet sometimes. She's very tired all the time. She's got a lot of voices in her head and
right. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility either that they made like a special room for you. Like there's not a lot of omens.
Yeah.
So it's like if they need to go out of their way to accommodate the ones that they do have a part of the program, then I think they would. But you can just go to a regular firing range if you want, and just cause a hubbub.
That's the thing. I think it's funny. I think it's funnier if like I walk in and they know it's me. Like I sign in,
and everybody else leaves.
Yeah, they're like, "Where are you at?" And like some days I'll be like, "I'm good," and then we just walk in. And other days I'm like, and then like, "Get out, get out."
Depending on headspace, might need to evacuate.
Yeah. Like shutters close and then you just hear horrifying like demon sounds and then I walk out like whew, like as if I just came back from the gym, you know,
right.
like I'm like a little sweaty. I'm like, all right, cool.
So
I needed that.
Incredible.
Ria's like goal doing that, is it like to get that release? Is it like to destroy? Is it just to like get the demons out of them? Like what is sort of the objective when they do like let loose in there?
It's to destroy. I think is like, or maybe a little bit of both. I like both of those, but it's more like the demons are like, you must destroy everything. Like, come on, like tear it all down. This world could be yours. This world could be ours. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. All right. It's kind of, I was, my second thing was, I was like fire range or dog park, for the same reasons. And I think she obviously cannot let loose a demon horde in the dog park, so she turns the fire range into it. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
So it's like, just go, have fun. There's a bunch of little dummies. They get torn down.
So it's more like a demon park.
Yeah.
It's a demon park, yeah.
Demon dog park. So I'm imagining that Division has offered to like make you a custom room for this, but you have a attachment specifically to the firing range. What why is that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like maybe like the first time you felt like you had to let loose like that and went there, like there's a sentimental story behind it, or
I think I think, wow, this is interesting. I'm thinking like maybe Ria actually does enjoy like also herself being able to have like a weapon, like hold a thing that is so powerful and dangerous and terrifying like a gun, and like have some sort of control over that herself. So it's like, oh, she's very like, I am the gun in that moment. This is real. We're getting into it. You know, it's like I'm the gun. And then so her being able to kind of connect with a weapon in that sense and like kind of let it go. I think that like, she's like, I like this space. It feels, also it's like probably the feeling of like, she's with other agents and other people, just normal people, right? Who are there and doing the same thing as her. Something like very violent, but also very controlled.
I like that, yeah.
It feels like a part of that. Like she doesn't feel different and othered and very volatile. She's like, okay, we're all here to get better at controlling something dangerous.
Yeah.
And that feels really nice.
I love that. Obsessed. Vita.
Hello.
Hi.
So my first instinct was like sensory deprivation tank.
Ooh.
That's good.
But my second instinct was sensory deprivation tank, but the floor is hot coals.
I was gonna say lava.
Yeah. So I think
cool.
that's what it is. It's a sensory deprivation tank, but the floor is hot coals. And like when they need to like take a minute, they just go in and like walk in little circles until things feel calmer. Or until their halo stops bleeding, one or the other, depending on the day.
Okay, so it's more of a room than a tank. Is that correct?
No, I think it's a tank, but I think it's like there's enough room for them to like walk around in it.
Okay,
on the
just
holes.
like kind of small circles.
Yeah.
Like a
Amazing.
kiddie pool. So
Yeah, you know.
That feels diminutive, but
way bigger than a kid.
we just gotta go to their kiddie pool.
It's like 2 kiddie pools put together.
It's a
to make
peanut
one
shaped
large
kiddie pool.
demon pool.
It's a demon pool.
Yeah.
And
I did
was
not
this
think you were gonna say peanut.
a peanut? Listen, this is a kids show.
Is it?
I was like,
No.
hold
Things need
up.
to change very quickly.
I've gotta
Okay,
rewrite
pack
this
it up, we
character
gotta
really quick. So was this Vita's idea or Division's idea?
I think the actual sensory deprivation tank was Division's. And then I think Vita tried it and was like, this is good, but it could be better.
Okay.
And requested hot coals.
I guess in asking that, I'm more like, did Division feel like you needed that outlet, or did you feel like you needed that outlet? Like, did they think there was a problem that they needed to mitigate in some way, or did you need a form of calm or release?
It was recommended to Vita that they go to the sensory deprivation tank because they were getting blood all over the ugly carpet with their halo because they were so stressed.
They were like, can you not
And
bleed on the
then-
carpet?
Yeah, and then they tried it and they were like, this was fine, but like if you want it to really be effective, you should do this. And then now it's like their favorite place because it feels like something that they like kind of manipulated Division into giving them, even if that's not actually how it happened.
I love that. What keeps the hot coals burning?
That's a secret.
Y'all got a lot of secrets, damn.
Let's go secrets.
I will reveal that when the truth is also revealed. So
You
those
mean
are
the answer?
Yeah, the answer. That's what it is. The answer. When we learn the answer, we'll also know what powers the hot coals.
Okay. Horrifying. All right. So that gives us a sort of limited look into what Division is, but we can add rooms at any time, and then of course there are rooms beyond our comprehension as viewers, as players, and even as omens that you haven't explored or aren't made privy to you, or only come out on the full moon or XYZ. It's a bit of a mystery, but for the most part, it's a regular office building apparently. and Jim is there. And that's what's most important. So we are going, now that we have Division mapped out, we are going to play out a day in Division. So what I'm going to ask each of you is to create a short vignette for your character, which will introduce us to who they are, what their deal is, what they look like. And I'm thinking in this vignette, like if we found them on just a regular day at Division, maybe morning or beginning of the afternoon, where would they be and what would they be doing? So anybody want to kick us off, or I can call names?
I can go first.
Okay. Dia.
I think Dia is at Division every day at 6:02 a.m. Regardless if she's there because she's meant to do something or not. I think sometimes she's there and people are like, "Why are you here?" And she stares at them with her. She has this blank stare, that's like blank emotionless face. It's unsettling because she has these very bright, like, what's the color I'm looking for? Hazel eyes. So she has these like bright hazel eyes, but they are like dull, blank, like almost lifeless. And this like very blank expression that she always wears. She's this rich, beautiful black skin, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" She just looks at people blankly with this hair made of smoke that's like pluming down around her. And she doesn't answer. She just floats past them. because she doesn't walk, she floats. She just floats past them and like goes into like the break room. No one's ever seen her eat or drink, but she goes into the break room like other people do and like gets a cup of coffee, and then she kind of just holds it and stands around. Everyone stands around for like half an hour, and then she will leave when everyone else leaves. But people don't know where she goes, and she's not here for a meeting or something. And I think people try not to call Dia in. I think they find Dia unsettling. So most days she doesn't have anything to do, so she sits down in the sub-basement. And that's where they know to find her if they do need her. That they know it is like the sky is blue, 2 + 2 is 4, Dia's in the sub-basement, because it's not like 12:01 a.m., so she's down there. So on a typical day, Dia's sitting in the sub-basement until someone comes to bother her. Or until the cleaning crew, who always forgets she sits down there, for whatever reason, they cannot hold it in their mind that that's where she hangs out, comes down and is startled by her.
Okay, who's the name of the janitorial worker that most often you bump into, or bumps into you?
Hever.
Hever?
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 Hever? HETATHER?
Heather. I don't know how I'm spelling this, but they come down as per usual, and the motion detecting lights flicker on, and just like every time they go, oh, Dia, one of these days I'm gonna get used to you sitting in the dark in the sub-basement, but today it's not that day. And they're pushing a classic janitorial cart that's like made of plastic and filled with spray bottles and towels and like a big lump of washables on the bottom part.
And whenever we'll hear in her ears, not in her mind, in her ears, as if I was talking, my mouth does not move, sound does not come out of my body. But all that happens, I think, is the smoke twists and bends a little bit. That is my hair. And she hears, as if I was talking, unlikely, Heather.
And you can like visibly see like a shiver run across her body, and she's like, okay, so I'm just gonna keep being startled forever.
Until it's time.
Oh my god.
Time for...
How did bingo go?
Oh, it was good. I got 3rd place. You want to see what I won? And without waiting for you to respond, pulls out like a necklace that has like this, like what are they? When people pour stuff into molds, what is that called?
Resin?
Yeah, it's like a resin gummy bear with a bunch of like rainbow beads across it, and she goes, "Isn't that cute?"
It's adorable.
See, I knew you had taste. And she tucks it back under her required uniform. You know, you could come to bingo sometime.
No.
It's just, oh. Well, I'm inviting you.
I know.
Okay.
It's not wise for me to go to bingo.
Yeah, why is that, Dia?
The people there are too close.
Like physically? Like physically?
Dia gets up and leaves the room.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah. Heather just slowly watches you leave and go up the sub-basement stairs like, okay, I'll catch you next time. I'm not gonna be afraid. And then pushes the cart over to some like industrial size washer and dryers. Rhea, where do we find you?
God, I was really thinking the one thing that really came to mind. I think Ria's just doing like paperwork or something. Real boring, basic thing.
Uh-huh.
Like kind of a day in for Ria is like, you know, if there's no mission, if there's nothing like pressing, Ria's like, it's a job, right? Like I think to Ria, this is a job. 100% comes in. Probably a little late. Like I think Ria's always a little late.
Mm-hmm.
But being an omen is kind of, you know, like she gets some leeway in there.
Right. I don't even know that she's meant to be doing paperwork, but just chooses to.
She chooses to.
So really, you're imposing that lateness on yourself.
I think it really is. Well, it's I don't know. I think like a through line for it is just like I want to try and have normalcy, right? Because Rhea also doesn't look very like Rhea looks like a human.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have anything overtly monstrous about her. I think the only thing is, and she like dresses like very casually too. I think she just has like a little baseball hat, and like some kind of jacket, like a windbreaker or something. Like she's not looking. She got boots on, right? Like it's like very, very.
She's
plain.
like an office worker on the casual.
Yeah,
day,
she's
casual
always,
Friday.
She's always casual Friday. Does Division have a uniform? Because I think like she kind of wears it, right?
I think I pictured that there was a uniform, but I also assumed omens wouldn't be required to wear them. But we can
maybe like her hat just has like a Division logo on it.
Yeah.
And like that's the closest
from the
thing,
company picnic, 2 years ago. Yeah.
Like, and so I think she enjoys like blending in for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, give me. Okay, what do you need? Like, oh, we have some paperwork to deal with, or
So are people putting like fake paperwork on your desk, or are you doing like actual paperwork that needs to happen? Or is someone giving you the console and your controller isn't plugged in?
That's so sad. I think that's so much funnier. I think it's like Mia has no idea. She's like, all right, this is just
checking boxes.
Just checking boxes, doing stuff. Maybe like some stuff will go. It's like, oh,
right.
It's just busy work. People are like, just give it to Rhea. I think there's maybe like higher ups that are like, just pass it on to Rhea, and then like lower level employees are like, what? Like, no, I don't want to. Of course not. I don't. Why would I do that? It's like, no, please. It's okay. She wants it, and it's like, what do you mean she wants it? So like Rhea's just kind of walking around like by the water cooler trying to talk to people, right? Is like trying to make little connections of sorry,
Austin's comment in chat.
She's doing fucking homework. That actually would be fun. Maybe it is like also
it's one of the Division agents' kids, like
yeah, like maybe she takes night classes like for fun and like they're
at the learning
sponsored.
annex.
She's doing her little homework.
Oh my god.
She goes to Kumon now. She's trying to like chat up with people, like so. We want like little vignettes. It's probably like a small montage of like Rhea waking up and like getting in, opening like her shitty apartment. I'll say she lives in New York, right? Like it's like if we can kind of like teleport in and out of here.
Yeah, sure.
She has like a shitty apartment in New York. She like walks into it. She's like, okay, hey everybody. Gets a cup of coffee. Tries to like talk to people. It's like, what's up? Like, how was your weekend? Like, what's up? Like Beth, how's that? Like she's very bad. I think she has like a social awkwardness to her where it's like, what's going on?
I love her so much.
How is the soccer game? How is what's your kid's name again? And Beth is like, I don't have a kid. And it's like, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you. It's like I think I thought you were somebody. How was Game of Thrones? Yeah. Did anybody watch? Oh, I finally caught up with Barry. That ending.
Oh my god.
Nobody really wants to talk to her about it.
Incredible.
And then I think like to really like finish painting this video, it's all over doing all these little mundane things, but like in the shadows that she has, like she also is just like, she's got like a body of like tattoos. It's like she's got like kind of a,
yeah, what does Rhea look like beyond the clothes?
She's I'm never the best at visualizing it, but like I think she's got like kind of unkempt hair. She's South Asian with like kind of darker skin, and she's like a little disheveled. She's got tattoos kind of all over her body, and it's very patchworky, but like they're all like little guys and various little like creatures. And they're all in like different tattoo styles too. I think it's like, you know, she's got traditional, she's got all the fun little things.
It's the
and,
little
like,
guy verse.
It's the little guy verse. Yeah, 100%. And like, if you like kind of watch her, like, you know, it's like, hey Beth, how was the thing? And like Beth's like, that's not me, you're thinking of somebody else. You see like her tattoos start to like move, and like they're all kind of snickering, and they all start kind of huddling. And she quickly like covers herself up, and she's like, no, oh, god damn it. And like in the shadows, like little kind of hands come up and are like around her legs, kind of whispering at her. Like there's all these like creatures, like if you kind of see through her eyes, or like kind of in her peripheries, there's little creatures in the shadows, and in her like kind of, you turn around and they disappear a bit. So she's just like kind of trying to distract herself from them, almost aggressively. So she's like, stop. Like,
so I'm picturing her aggressively zipping up the windbreaker.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I think she like gets hot, like, so she wears it but doesn't like wearing a jacket, you know. So she's like, oh god damn it.
Oh my goodness. I think there is at least one division agent that is not thrown off by your social awkwardness. Yeah. So who do you think that is?
It
ain't Beth.
It's not. It's real Beth. Oh, I kind of like the idea that it's somebody who like has kids or something, and just is comfortable talking to me about their kids. Like, somebody who wants to talk. It's like the extroverted person that's like, you're my introvert kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've
adopted you.
We do like watch the same shows.
Oh my god,
like, it's a fun little thing.
I love it.
I don't know what their name is. I guess it could be other Beth, right?
Oh, it's just a different Beth.
Yeah.
How many Beths are there?
Who can say? There's
five
Beths.
Do you refer them by like their name? Like
they have
Beth
a podcast.
W or like Beth G. Or is it like numbers? How do we refer to
Ponytail Beth, headband Beth.
There's good Beth, there's annoying Beth.
Hot Beth.
Short Beth, tall Beth.
Hot Beth. Hot Beth and annoying Beth it's a divide, because some people call annoying Beth Hot Beth, and some people call her annoying Beth.
It could go either way. Yeah,
you never know which Beth
depends
we're
on
really
the day.
Talking about.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They have a podcast. It's only for division agents, because they do not listen to the classification rules we're given at all.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is nice Beth.
This is nice Beth. Yeah.
MLM Beth.
Oh no.
We avoid MLM Beth. Oh my gosh.
And Beth is like, so which Beth am I? And everyone goes, blonde Beth? Like, just like some character is like, we can't say this in front of her.
My hair's
Beth with
brunette.
glasses.
Awesome. So I think at the end of your montage, nice Beth. Do you work at a cubicle? Or do you have a different space? Do you work in the janitor closet?
Do omens have like a specific like floor and building, or are they just
I would think you would have your like own room and yeah, your own space. But it doesn't seem like Rhea would want that.
I have one, like they've assigned me one for sure. And then I also was like, could I get a cubicle? And like how like packed do you think division is? Like is it it like hard to find space? I'm also trying to see what's funnier. It's like, do they like go, hey, Greg, you need to like move. This is Ria's desk today, right? Like before I come in, or
I
is
do
it
feel
like I don't know,
everyone
just fucking
shits on
pick
Greg, or whatever this is.
Oh no, it's like Succession.
It's like I know. I think Greg has
I
subconsciously
think there's
just
plenty
been
of
my,
space, but they still make Greg move.
Greg's like, oh, okay, sorry, I'll work in the conference room, I guess.
Oh my
today."
god. So
Ria has no idea. Ria has no
Oh my
idea.
goodness. Oblivious. So your montage ends. Nice Beth comes over and you chat about kids and Succession and and things of that nature and have a nice time. Vita, where do we find you on a regular day in Division?
So I think Vita is like the public outreach coordinator, which is horrifying because Vita is like 5'11", fat, has green skin, with like visible veins that like pulse when they're very emotional, and their eyes are just like these terrifying black holes that like once you look into them, it's like there's a very slim chance that you'll be able to look away until Vita has decided that you can. And they also have like basically a ram's horn that sticks straight out of the center of their forehead, and around that is like a broken halo that no longer glows, it just drips blood, which is really gross. And then their hair is like really stringy and white, and they keep it really short. So like
This might be Hot Beth. I don't know.
this might be Hot Beth. But so Vita on public outreach is so funny because like they are terrifying. Like they just have a terrifying presence. And so they have like a team that they work with, I think, and the whole team, which I think includes annoying Beth, is just really bad at their jobs. Like they're supposed to go out and like take surveys of people and like see how they're feeling about like what the division is doing, like what the public perceives the division is doing, right? And they're terrible at it. Like they either like ask the wrong questions, they go to the wrong houses, like it's just awful. And so Vita often is like, I'll just do it myself, which they have ulterior motives for that they don't reveal ever.
Y'all got secrets.
I got secrets. But and so that they will show up at people's like doorstep and just with like a clipboard.
I hate that.
And a pen. And they go.
Do they write their own survey questions, or do they use like
there's a form? But
you
I
show
think
up
they
at
add
normal
things.
people's houses or division agents' houses?
Yeah, wait.
It's both. It's both.
Do we have like an MIB, like Men in Black team?
Well, the world at large is aware of omens and monsters, not accepting of them across the board by any means, but not that you need to.
So do we have an MIB?
Yeah, it's like Men in Black. It is though.
Okay.
But there's no memory wiping, I guess is what I was saying.
Yeah. No, and if people are scared or intimidated, Vita just like grunts at them and leaves. Has no interest in like trying to engage beyond that. So public relations, not great, but it's fine. And yeah, and to answer Viditia's question, if you get like a form survey that sometimes Vita will add things to if they feel like they're not getting enough info.
Right. Are they like deeply personal questions, or what kind of questions?
Like sometimes they'll be like, "What's your ideal grilled cheese?" And then other times
they're fun
be like,
questions.
Why did you name your cat Olive?
How do you know my cat's name?
Why do you know my cat's name is Olive? Please answer the question.
You look into my eyes. What do you picture? You know, just like normal fun questions.
I like to imagine if you get someone who's screaming, do you ask like on a 1 to 10 rate this scream?
I think they actually would pull out like a tuning fork, like those little pocket ones that like music teachers always have.
I've never heard it.
Screaming is feedback. Screaming is feedback.
Out of just confusion of just like
Yeah, I think Vita is has like oddly lovable countenance despite being terrifying, and it's because of how they like respond to people's fear of them, which is often with a tuning fork to determine the sharpness of their scream.
Okay, and what is the emotion attached to that? ambivalence.
I think it's mostly ambivalence, and I think they've also discovered that it's a really good way to like bewilder people into being endeared toward them, which is something that they desire.
They're like, the tuning fork is my secret weapon.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. So since we are kind of centering this in division, I think we're catching Vita either on the, like, they're prepping for their next outing, or they're just getting back from one. What do you think?
I think probably just getting back from one.
Okay.
And so they have like
How
this
did it
clipboard with like a stack of completed surveys.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it went fine today.
Was Beth with you or anyone else?
Annoying Beth was with me. Which was horrible.
Okay. Yeah, she's still with you.
And so the like we are quickly approaching sensory deprivation tank levels of irritation, and Vita's really trying to keep it together.
Well, we didn't hit our quota, so I don't know what we're gonna tell. I don't know what we're gonna tell the big man.
I know we didn't hit our quota, and I'm doing my best.
Why do we have the same?
I'm doing my best.
I was not prepared for that to be his voice. I am a big fan.
Because Annoying Beth is your sister.
What?
I referred
What
Annoying Beth
twist?
to division, and then also got really irritated really fast that I had done that.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
You know,
I think actually we're just from the same part of Staten
you're from New
Island.
Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I just, I think maybe if you didn't physically come on the outings, that it
If I
would.
don't physically come on the outings, you get it wrong every time.
It's just a survey. How can I get it wrong? It's the questions are right
time.
there. How can I get it
Don't
wrong?
ask the right questions. You
They're
ask too
written
many.
down.
Why do you care what their name is?
That's on the survey.
You're never going to interact with them again.
You don't
Put
know
down
that.
the details.
How
How
one
old?
time a guy
do they
gave me
live?
his phone number. I mean, that's one of the survey questions, but he had a twinkle in his eye.
Don't flirt with the survey
I didn't.
participants.
He flirted with me the way he wrote that number down.
You accepted it,
Yeah, because it's a part of the survey.
but did you keep it? Be honest.
Well, we had to keep the paperwork.
Not the paperwork. Did you keep his number?
We have to keep it.
Some of them, the numbers get torn out. Are you tearing them out? Are you putting them in your pockets? Are you taking them home?
I think maybe you're distracted from the point that I brought up, is that maybe you're scaring the people doing the surveys with your blood horn.
I'm very lovable.
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
have millions of people who love me.
I know all about your Facebook fan page.
Not Facebook.
Oh my god.
Nancy from southeastern Florida says I am the most personable monster she's ever interacted with.
Okay, well
I
that's
have hoes in all the area codes. You cannot
just told
say
me I can't flirt with the people taking the surveys, and now you say
they're
you got the
not
hoes in the
survey
area codes.
participants. It's not the same.
Wow.
I'm very lovable.
Okay, but you can maybe imagine someone who didn't know you seeing you on their doorstep suddenly might be a little alarming.
The way the world is now, anybody seeing anybody on their doorstep is a little alarming.
But that's a really good point. All right, well, we'll talk about this later. I'm going to go give this to Boss Man, and hopefully he is satisfied with the number that we got today. But we are going to
I'm gonna
talk
go
about this
tally
later.
up the rest of these results. Okay,
Goodbye.
goodbye. And then I think straight up, anytime that happens, Vita will leave their clipboard on their desk and then just go away to the hot coal room
Okay.
for a while. Anytime they have to go out with Annoying Beth, that's where they go.
Does Vita ever give, like, in moments like this, do you call up Rhea and be like, Rhea, could you do my paperwork for me?
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
Maybe you
I
go
think
by
that's
Rhea's
for sure
cubicle.
done.
Maybe you go by Rhea's cubicle first.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So you're heading towards heading towards Rhea's cubicle. Where did Dia head to after they left the sub base?
They're standing in the break room, not moving.
Okay.
I'm picturing like in a corner, so you have to, when you turn into the break room, you then see him. Like,
is it on the same floor? Could you see like Rhea's desk from the break room, or could Rhea
Probably.
see you? Okay, yeah.
I think Rhea probably saw me walk by her desk and go into the break room.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. And each of you, please take one bond. Austin, take a bond on Heather. Vidija, take a bond on Nice Beth. And to much chagrin, Sam, if you could take a bond on Annoying Beth.
Okay.
Is bond rating like how many bonds you have?
You could just you don't max out on. I think if you get 3 bonds, you can cross them out and turn it into an experience point. But mostly they're just used to add a +1 or a -1 to your rolls to like make them be more the way you want. And you can use as many as you want as long as you have that many bonds. But you kind of have to justify it in the moment by being like, oh, I have this nice memory of Annoying Beth that is bringing me strength. Or maybe you're like remembering a moment with Beth that like distracts you. You're like, oh, that was so annoying. And it kind of distracts you from what the darkness is trying to convince you to do. You know, things like that, sort of narratively making it make sense in the moment. But yeah, that's what they're used for, and can also translate if you get a bunch, then, you know, because I bet Heather and Dia are gonna really start racking them up. So
Dia and I actually have 3 bonds with each other from like our character sheets. Should we just leave that for now?
It's up to you. If you want to translate it to an experience, you can. But since we're only doing 3 episodes, you're going to get a advance between episodes anyway. So something to keep in mind. But if you wanted to collect XP on top of that to get more advances, that's fine. But totally up to you. Power game. That's what Apocalypse Keys is about. Is about power gaming.
I'm gonna win, dude.
I'm gonna win. Okay.
I'll win the apocalypse.
You know, I think that would. You know, if you were a harbinger.
Oh.
I think you could very easily win the apocalypse.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm so scared, but also so endeared.
All of you are so horrifying and secretive. And I like how everyone's like intimidated by Vita and Dia and just like kind of annoyed by Rhea.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
do my busy work.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to defeat emotions. So Vita, you roll up to Rhea's desk. I just realized how similar everyone's names sound.
Everyone's names are pretty. I've been worried.
I also love how all of you seem to be outcasts. So maybe you have like, I don't know, you tell me, do you have like a little sort of accidental crew of outcasts, or do you naturally gravitate towards each other because of that? I mean, you also have bonds, but
probably. I mean, like, I know Vita and I have like a shared past. I can't remember. Sam, is it like, do we hang out because of that, or is it weird because of that?
So it's definitely weird because if I remember correctly, what we talked about was like your former lover
hello
stole the throne of hell from underneath me.
Yeah.
No, Rhea stole it.
You stole it
yeah.
On accident because their former lover was trying to sacrifice her.
So it's really not great.
We're
like,
not
the vibes.
great. Yeah.
The vibes are low key rancid, I think.
Did y'all have a second bond though?
Well,
I thought you also both like secretly loved
Yeah,
each
we
other.
have two. Hold on,
Well, like,
hold on.
The thing is, like, I know, like, my bond with you is, we forgot to write down, like, the specific details. So that's the vibe I got. It's like, you were there when I truly
Yeah.
let go. What did I destroy that belonged to you? Why are you
Yes.
grateful? That's what
That's
it is.
right.
It's,
That's what
I
it
destroyed
was.
your throne, but you're like, this
But
is
I'm low-key
fine.
grateful. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm really irritated about it. Okay, so I think
It's
what it was
complicated.
Yeah,
Facebook
I hate-
status
I hate it.
on your Facebook fan page.
I
You
hate it,
shit
but
talk
also now I get the opportunity to like rebuild my fan base, so to speak, and like take it back, which I think for me is like even more powerful if I can do it a second time.
That's cool. Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
So it's complicated.
That's complicated, and I
It's
think
complicated.
Rhea wants to fix that relationship, especially because Rhea's whole thing is she didn't want this. Like, she was going to be sacrificed, and that was a surprise. She's like, "You're killing me, really?" And then, oops! Now I have all of this power, and this demon's mad at me. Woof, you know. So I think I also remember it's like Rhea's kind of like, if I could give it to you, I would. Kind of
Right,
you know?
that's right.
It's
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
It's like, please, like, can we just be friends? Like, I could.
Is
use
it
a
just the
bribe.
worst reminder of your terrible ex at this point?
It's so
That's fun,
hard.
yeah. Do you remind me of like? Are you actively like trying to stick the knife in me and be all like, "Hey, throne stealer"?
Only when
Hey,
you don't do my paperwork for
There
me.
you go.
Only if you don't do the paperwork. If you don't do the paperwork, I'm like, well, no wonder you broke up. But
Damn.
yeah.
I think they broke up because she tried to kill her.
No, I think Vita's just
Okay.
terrible. It is
Okay,
what
cool.
it is.
So you rolling up to my desk is probably Rhea going like, "Oh, hey Vita, what's up? How are you?"
Do this paperwork. I gotta go hot coals.
Oh yeah, of course, that's fine. I can do this for you. Was it a good time on the field? Like, I imagine you're already walking away.
Vita's already walking away, and
Yeah.
I think Vita, like, honestly, like, acknowledges Dia just in the sense of like they literally go, "Hey Dia, no sub basement today."
Heather came early.
Oh damn. Okay, I'll see you later, and then like keeps it moving.
All right, so you're heading off, and there's a young division employee that bounces up with sort of like brand new intern enthusiasm, and has a note for you, and it's like classically written out, like almost like it was written on like a typewriter, being said to somebody over what did they used to do with the and they'd send dots.
The telegram.
Telegram.
I was like,
It's written like it was on a typewriter, and it's also like it has a was this communicated via a telegram vibe. But almost like basically you run into this individual. We'll say this person does not have a name. You just know them as the intern. And you bump into them, and they go, "Oh, sorry, Vita."
Vita probably just kind of stops, does this like jerky little head motion, thinks about it, and then says, "We can put this behind us as long as you agree to vote for me.
Vote for you?
Don't ask questions.
Are you running for some sort of position?
Don't ask questions.
Like president, vice president,
Never
secretary.
mind. You're on my list."
Oh, what kind of list?
Then
Are
just
you having a
keeps
party?
moving. Nope. No more questions.
I haven't been
It's not
invited to
happening.
any parties since I've gotten here, so
Rhea,
that's-
make this one be quiet. Shouts it across the room.
I don't think you got very far. I think you walked and
Perfect.
like turned a corner of one of the cubicles and just like slammed into this little
Oh,
guy.
stunning. Yeah, no. Just pawns it off on Rhea. Any annoyance that Vita doesn't want to deal with, Rhea is now responsible for because Rhea took my throne.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have a message for you.
For me?
Well, actually, for all three of you. waves enthusiastically at Dia and Rhea.
They wave enthusiastically, and then I am in front of them.
Oh, hi, Dia. I forgot you could do that.
Fuck up, kid. And then Vita like slaps them on the back really forcefully 2 times.
Like falls forward into Dia, I guess, because Dia's in front of them. So just face front into Dia, and it's like, oh, sorry.
Dia is extremely cold.
Wow, your body temperature is abnormal. Or maybe it's normal for you? Is it normal for you? Because if it's abnormal, we could go to the medical wing. I could escort
Why did you wave?
I was saying hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Dia's back in the break room.
Oh.
I really gotta figure out how to teleport like that.
Okay, well, hi, Rhea.
Yeah, Rhea, like, I think kind of shows up, like, here is, like, a little frazzled, and, like, takes off her hat, kind of, like, slaps herself awake and goes, yeah, what's up?
It's pretty warm in here for a jacket.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's cold outside. Doesn't make eye contact.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll just give. There's 3 copies, but I'll give them to you, Vita, and you could maybe hand them out.
Vita snatches them out of this kid's hands.
Cool. So when is the party?
There's no party.
Okay, but you said you added me to a list, like a guest list?
The options are vote for me or be added to the list. Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. Okay, I think maybe that was the instruction I was missing.
I said it 3 times.
Can I just not ask questions about the vote and ask questions about other things?
Or you can be added to Rhea. Can you?
Hey, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Intern.
Yeah. I think
Number 3.
They told me my name was Intern when I entered the building.
I'm like, weird.
Intern
Cool name.
554623.
All right. Nice. We don't ask questions. Don't ask
No questions.
Yeah.
Not just about the voting, but no questions about anything.
No, you should ask. That's a slippery slope. Don't question Vita.
Oh, can I ask you questions?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Why are you wearing that jacket?
Ask all the questions you want, but not of me.
Okay.
Why am I wearing this jacket? I think, like, you can see, like, Rhea's, like, very tired eyes. It's just, like, you see, like, I think, like, some, like, little imp looking things, like little tattoos start climbing up her neck.
Like peeking out from the collar.
Yeah, peeking out. It's like,
Oh.
and I think I'm haunted by demons, you know.
Oh.
I'm kind of the I'm kind of the mother of imps right now. It's like holding up the queen of imps and small demons and stuff. You know,
Oh.
that's
Okay.
they live on my body in the form of tattoos.
Oh, okay. I guess I should read your file, and then I would have known that. I wouldn't have to ask. I'm sorry to make you.
No, it's okay. You're an
Explain
intern.
it.
That's fine. Welcome to the team.
You look really tired.
They whisper in my ears constantly, 24/7.
Oh.
Vita chuckles whenever you bring that up.
Do you want like a coffee, or I could get a white noise machine for your cubicle?
No, don't worry. It's like in my skull. You don't understand.
No,
I'm
I
on
get it.
cup-
My uncle has tinnitus.
It's exact. Yeah, you know, like I'm on cup 6, and I've been awake for 4 hours. Like this isn't. It's fine. We're good.
Okay. What's Dia doing in the break room? What is Dia doing in the break room, Austin?
Dia is standing completely still, and you see, I think by now the motion lights have gone off, and she's just standing.
Jesus Christ.
What is Rhea say Dia's doing in the break room?
What's Dia? Dia's doing Dia. You know, that's normal behavior.
Okay.
I think just this intern here is as if Dia's standing next to them, like as if like a cloud of smoke that is Dia whispered in their ear, You could approach and come closer and see for yourself.
Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna be invited to the break room to hang out with Dia.
Should I? Would I? I would. Should I like reach out and be like, "Don't do that"? Okay, and then Rita like immediately goes, "No." You're probably needed elsewhere. You just needed to deliver the message.
Oh
to
yeah.
us,
Do you
right?
need anything?
No, I'm good. You should get as far away from here as possible. Go to the other floors. Go somewhere else.
Okay.
All right. I like shoot Dia, Claire like.
I think Vita's just
Curious.
laughing. Vita thinks this is great.
The intern turns to Vita and is like, "So you'll email me about the party later?"
Kid, what did I say about
Okay.
questions?
Will you leave if I email you later?
Uh-huh.
Great.
Okay, can't wait. I'll bring a present. I don't know if that's appropriate, but I'm gonna do it.
I always enjoy an offering.
Do you like flowers?
No.
Okay. See you later.
As they leave, Dia comes back and says to Vita, "Don't worry, they only have about 2 weeks."
To live?
They hear this. They're still like just down the hall.
What was that? You forgot to turn your whisper mode off.
Dia doesn't answer. Dia just says that to Vita.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was joking with that, but yes. Okay, you say only have about 2 weeks and do not further explain. Perfect.
I think Vita just goes, good. No, I don't
Jesus.
need any more info. That's fine.
Sam, I love how you're like, my character's very lovable, but also I hope this intern dies.
I hope the intern dies.
I hope they just perish.
I want to say, I love that already, that establishes you. We don't ask questions of Vita. Don't ask questions. Like, don't ask questions of Vita. Maybe. Don't ask questions to Dia.
It's almost like don't ask questions to Vita. Don't answer any questions. You know, like Vita's gonna ask you some things. You
Oh
do
my
not want to be
God.
in their sights.
There's more
You
than
should
one
probably
the
actually
answer.
just go. You should probably
Yeah.
just leave.
Yes.
What's Dia doing? Listen, I used to rule hell. Don't.
Don't. Amazing. Okay, so all of you get the little missive that was handed off to you by intern 24601 or whatever. And it says,
I want it to change every time.
and it will, because I didn't write that down. I'm gonna have them all be like sneaky references to some sort of number in fandom. But the note says, Omen class monsters. A rogue interdimensional spatial entity has attached itself to Division HQ, designated the Parasitic Library. The entity has begun siphoning off valuable intel from the archives, leaving voids in Division's key records relating to already contained doors of the apocalypse. Harbinger class monster involvement is suspected behind the security breach. Should whoever brought the library to Division recover the siphoned information from within the library, they will be armed with knowledge needed to unlock those doors. Find out who or what led the library here and dislodge it from Division before the apocalypses have a chance to be unleashed and the Harbinger claims ascension. And that's the end of the note.
All right. Okay. Off we go.
Did we
Where-
feel any kind of like elemental change when the Parasitic Library was attached to Division?
Ooh.
So, you don't recall, but you can certainly talk to people around the office about to get more information.
Is the archive a physical place, or is that like in people? It's just like the computers.
The archive is a physical place, but the like exact location of the Parasitic Library is unclear.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it is
yeah.
attached to Division in some way.
And there's an archivist in theory.
Mhm.
Dia would suggest to go there, or Dia would say that she's going there.
Oh my god. So cryptic.
I am going there.
No, she would say she's going to the.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go talk to the archivist.
Okay. You want anyone to come along?
If you want.
Yeah. I like the archives. A lot of books. A lot of things.
Right about now was when Heather would be there too. And if anybody's gonna know anything, it'll be the janitor or the archivist.
Heather got third place in bingo.
Did she get a prize?
Yes, it's an adorable Hummingbird necklace.
Oh, that's nice.
I got one of those once from a subject.
Yeah.
Adorable.
I melted it down to make a weapon.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is gonna be a fun one. I was really hoping for an away mission, as like Rhea starts to kind of push me off.
So the three of you start walking down towards the archives. And with that, we are going to take our break. We're going to be AFK for about 10-15 minutes. During the break, y'all, please check out some of our commands. You can check out the discount codes available from Evil Hat. You can go follow our lovely cast over on their socials. Vanabot just put that in the chat for you. Evil Cat! That's not it.
Very different.
You can also check out our tip page. Thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. We're at $70. Our goal by the end of the show is 200. So thank you. All those tips are split evenly between us. And brush up on your content warnings as well. And take care of yourselves. Get some water, stretch your bodies, get some food, take your meds. And we'll see you back here momentarily. Goodbye. Hello, nurse, and welcome back to part 1 of our Apocalypse Keys mini-series sponsored by Evil Hat. We're so glad you're here. If you missed it in the chat, we currently have a giveaway open. All you have to do to enter is type Beth, all caps in the chat. That's a B, an E, a T, and an H. Beth, all caps in the chat to enter. And that is going to be for a $25 gift coupon to the Evil Hat website if you win. And we're going to pull 3 winners. So odds are good. I don't think that many people have entered yet. So get in there, get this game for yourself in the digital format. And you gotta follow the channel.
I missed the message about the giveaway, so I just saw people posting Beth. And I was like, that's what it is.
Beth!
It's so good.
But which Beth, chat? You need to specify. Nice Beth, annoying Beth, unicycle Beth.
Question.
Yeah.
Can whoever wins stack their gift code and the 15% off for Pride?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Power game.
Well, I don't,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, actually.
Yo, wait, I don't know if Evil Hat will let you, but you can try.
It'd be great if you could.
Maybe you can't, because I think maybe you can only input 1 coupon code, but who can say?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is the $25 like a coupon code, or is it?
It is a coupon code,
card?
And I don't know if checkout will let you put in multiple coupon codes, but
okay, cool.
It is worth a shot, is it not? At the ultimate discount on the Evil Hat website.
Every time.
I don't know why I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to be like Russian.
Yeah, you're a Russian
vampire. Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
By the way, we're playing a different game entirely. MLN Beth has an opportunity. I love this Oops All Beth that we've just canonized. It's very funny to me.
That'll be a different game you get Evil Hat to sponsor.
That's
yes,
the spin-off.
Oops All Beth.
Yeah.
That's right.
The spin-off series. Oops All Beth.
Oh my god! But you know what would be amazing is if one of the Beths is the Harbinger, and you have to figure out which one.
That's
Yes,
good.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yes, no, that was the plan all along.
Evil Hat, call Vanya.
I like how you add a Y in my name.
It's like, your new vampire personality.
Vanya. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. has at least 10 Beth. It's required by law. That's right. So enter that giveaway. Last call on that. Mocho's gonna close it out and announce the winners. So keep an eye on him in the chat with the pink screen name. And yeah, quick refresher on our, before we jump back in, on our cast and our content warnings and our tip page. We're so close to the halfway point on that, so thank you so much. Any tips made to that link are going to be split evenly between us, and of course are much appreciated. All right, I think we're going to jump back into it, but before we get back into the heading towards the archives, Vita, I think you had something to proffer.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I have ulterior motives behind the surveys that I'm doing as a public outreach captain for the division. So I'm actually trying to gather an army that will serve me through these, which is part of my ruin move, which is called I Will Rise Again. Do you want me to read the whole description?
Yeah, or paraphrase, whichever is easiest. Yeah.
So basically, I used to be the ruler of hell. I will become the ruler of hell again. I don't care what it takes to do that. And so everything that I do, I am secretly working towards that goal of reclaiming my throne. And so every time that I like enact one step of this plan, I get to gain a ruin. And then as the keeper gets to tell me what my consequences are.
And to clarify, gaining a ruin is bad. You're like, I get to gain one.
No, I get one.
I get one.
It's for me.
It's for me. It's just for me. Because
once I've done everything,
right,
I will accomplish my goal.
If you accrue enough ruin in the game, you give in to your harbinger, your inner monster, the harbinger within, and you lose control and become exactly what the darkness demands of you. So
exactly.
Vita's the first to gain a ruin on their track, and then it has options, right, for consequences. What can you tell them to me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Okay. These are the potential consequences. I know my memories of a PC or NPC will weaken my resolve, so I must destroy all bonds with them to no effect.
It said PC or NPC?
Yep. A seed of doubt grows within me. I give a PC or an NPC the means to weaken me. Division learns of my plans and gains something similar to what I just achieved. Or a new faction rises or grows more powerful, determined to destroy me. They will hound my every step and push back against my plan.
Okay, those are all very intense options.
Tasty little consequences.
Okay, say the first one again.
I know my memories of a PC or NPC will weaken my resolve. I must destroy all bonds with them, but to no effect.
Okay.
But I lose all my bonds with that person.
And isn't one of your bonds with someone like a love or an infatuation?
Yeah. So I have, hold on.
Juicy,
okay,
juicy,
so with
juicy.
Dia, I have Dia loves me but can't accept it, and I allow her to remain ignorant. And then on the other side of that, okay, on the other side of that, I know that Dia longs to worship me and their heart yearns for me, but I keep her at a distance. So we have 3 bonds total between those two.
Okay, but I think it would just be the bonds you have on Dia.
It says all bonds.
Oh, okay.
But I don't. But I think that you might. Yeah, it might just be the ones that I have on her.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Rena just
not with Rhea. Yeah, I think that one.
Okay.
I think it's like, and you can add detail to this, but it's like between you there is something romantic and passionate and absolutely cannot happen. And even even as your scheme continues, it's like, oh, this really, really for sure can't happen, because if I have any sort of emotional attachment in that way, then I'm not going to be able to follow through with my plan. So mechanically, you have to erase your bonds on D&D.
But it doesn't like have an effect. Like it doesn't have a mechanical effect aside from me no longer having like that ability to like leverage that bond.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, not mechanically, but story-wise, it's gonna make you like push away from Dia, I imagine. So let's do like a little bit of a flashback, just a brief scene where you're kind of like annoying Beth just left, and right before you go to Ria's desk, you're sort of compiling the paperwork that's there, and you're contemplating how a step of your plan is coming together with these surveys, and how this sort of like consequence comes into play in Vita's mind, and sort of maybe a resolution that they set as a result.
So I think when, like, as Vita's thinking about this, and when Vita sees Dia in the break room, and then that like basically like quick travel that Dia does to be right in front of intern 469, and then goes back into the break room, Vita has this moment of like, ugh, like this relationship would serve what I'm doing because it's one person that I can rely on to like love me and be an acolyte of my cause. But it's more important for me to get these numbers because the numbers are what will serve me better than this single strong bond. And I think like like they just kind of have this moment of like just like totally compartmentalizing any feelings that existed for Dia and like pushing them aside. And so I think they grow a little bit colder after that. Like as they move into this mission with the library, I think Vita is much less, not that Vita's ever warm necessarily, but is like, I think to Dia noticeably more detached.
Okay. And that's something Dia would pick up on. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Would Ria?
I think maybe some of your little guys tell you about it.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah.
Whispermongers.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that is in play. How many steps are in your plan? Are you muted?
Oh, I'm on push to talk. Sorry.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. It is a 10-step plan.
Emmeline Vita.
It is a 10-step plan.
Big girl boss energy.
To regain the throne of hell. I literally, so I'm playing the Fallen playbook, and like as I was scrolling through it, I was like, oh, like these moves are interesting, and I got to that one, and I was like, no, it's that. That's ridiculous. I'm obsessed. Let's do it. So,
I love a checklist. We love a to-do list.
Well, and so I'm using the Roll20 character sheet because it's easier, and every time I check one off, it like crosses it out for me.
Oh, perfect. Satisfying.
It's great. It's great.
All right, so we're going to cut back to the present with the three of you getting your booties down to the archive. So there's sort of like a main lobby for the archives, and then there's like a super archaic elevator that's like one of those like ones, industrial ones that it's like huge and rattly, and it feels like it's probably against OSHA. Kind of thing. And then that goes between floors, and the archives are like an unknown amount of levels, and there's levels being added and taken away all the time, and but the elevator can reach all of them. So all of you walk into the archives, which is just pretty basic archives, shelves and shelves of boxes of files, and some computers lining the wall that have digital versions and sort of a search engine optimization for the ever twisting and growing archives. And when you enter, you don't see the regular archivist, like the main person who runs the archives for the division. You see the archivist assistant, Marcus Finch. And Marcus is a short a short guy in a sweater vest, like a little orange knitted sweater vest with his little undershirt. And they have their business trousers on and their little business shoes, but then they also have like they're in the middle of putting on this super ill-fitting tactical gear. So it's like a bulletproof vest and like a bandolier and like knee pads for like roller skates. And they're like testing walkie-talkies on a table, but their little yellow bow tie is still peeking out. Just a sweet little baby face, dark skin. They have shaved sides and then like a little poof of twists at the front and like thick black glasses. And they are working away with their back to you when you enter, getting things set up. One of you has worked with Marcus Finch before. Why did the two of you part on less than polite terms? Why do you regret the rift that grew between you? And why do you suspect they regret it too?
Someone want it?
I
could think of something, but someone wants it.
If you got something in mind, jump in.
Yeah.
Well, do you have something?
Well, I also have like something in mind, but
I will have another question after this. So if that's helpful.
Do it. I feel like it makes more sense. You're the one trying to like know people here or whatever.
Yeah, like that's kind of, I was like, well, if it's like, I probably tried to like get a job at the archives because I'm like, it's busy work. I can just.
And both of you can know Marcus, but there is like one of the relationships is a bit tenuous.
Yeah, I think probably Marcus. Like maybe I did something in a sour relationship. It was like I did something, or what was the specific?
Why did the two of you part on less than polite terms? Why do you regret the rift that grew between you, and why do you suspect they regret it too?
Well, I guess like, I mean, a big thing about Rhea is like controlling her powers. There's also like, I'm just trying to double check some like ways I gain darkness, because it's like probably has something to do with like maybe I got really overwhelmed by the amount of work. You know, it's like, oh, it's the archives, you got to do a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I don't actually want to do this, or you know, like, what's Marcus's like normal attitude? Like, is Marcus like a nice guy?
Yeah, they're like they're like a nerd. They're like very bookish and also very like socially anxious and uncomfortable, and has like a very like dry sense of humor, and sometimes it's difficult to tell if he's joking or not.
Oh, that's fun. I think like
maybe you're too similar.
We're too similar, and we like nothing was really clicking, and Rhea kind of needs like direction because she's directionless, like she's being literally pulled in several directions by various little demons telling her what to do. And she's like, you just gotta give me the thing. And it's like, I don't know, you should know how to do this. Like maybe like I like exploded, and almost literally, right? Like maybe there was a big disaster.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe they had to refile everything that came out of. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I think it like maybe all your little demons like went around and pulled all the files out of out of their boxes.
Because I have a thing where it's like when I like when my power when I lose control of my power, little imps just start manifesting in the world. Like my power spreads in ways I can't control it. So that's 100% what happened. It's just imps were loose in the archive and causing problem. And it's like, I got fired. But again, like I can't be fired. I think maybe there's also like a weird Marcus. I kept telling Marcus,
also an assistant, so has no power to do that to you.
I'm like, Marcus, you're my boss, and Marcus is like, no, I'm really not. Like, and so there's this weird power dynamic, and then
but Rhea's like, okay, but I need you to be. I need you to be. But you regret it. So why do you regret it?
I think
that rift, that rift coming between the two of you.
I think maybe like, I think it's got to just be like we were building a rapport, like we like we were kindred spirits, and like maybe it was like, I'm like, oh, something could, like, this could have been a friendship. This could have been something.
Right, and now it feels ruined. Yes.
Now it feels ruined. It feels weird. Like, you got scolded because of me. Like, people blamed Marcus, like higher ups blamed Marcus, and I'm like, no, it's my fault. And they're like, no.
Yeah, I imagine they didn't like tell on you. So if someone walked in on them fixing it, they would have just been like, yeah, well.
Yeah. Sorry, you're
it is what it is.
Marcus. Yeah. And it's like, yeah. Okay.
Okay, my last establishing question. This is not Division's first encounter with the library. It was once used to secure something incredibly dangerous with its siphonovore nature. That's such a big word for Elmo. Conveniently erasing all records of the mission. One of you was involved with the mission. Why are you the only one from that ill-fated team able to recall scant fragments about the catastrophe that happened? That's Austin or Sam?
If I may, I think.
Please do. I've got nothing.
I think I remember fragments of what happened because Jeff showed up and like saved them for me. I think in the way that people don't understand, like, it isn't just like people and things that die, like memory. I think like memories that die are part of death too. And so in that way, Death spoon-fed me some to keep up whatever weird dance we have between each other.
That's spicy. I like that.
So, so what aspects do you remember? What are sort of the fragments that are the biggest, the most prominent?
I think the most prominent thing I remember is it had something to do with something called the World Splitter.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's like I think that's it. I think definitely it's like the World Splitter, and I think people were afraid in a way that like the Division doesn't usually get afraid. This wasn't like the Spider Queen or the Land of Doors or like, you know, it wasn't some sort of normal eldritch god waking up. This was like people, like veterans of the Division, were like terrified. They were like, this is the one.
Yeah. Okay. And they were keeping it contained there. Does she remember that?
Let's see. What? You rolled 2d6 in this system?
Yeah.
PvP rules. That's right. That's a 12. Yes, I know that they were keeping the information on how to locate, summon, like that part's fuzzy. I don't know if it's locate, summon, use, like the information was something they had that they put into the Parasitic library, so it'd be gone forever.
Okay. Of the World Splitter, the location of the
Yeah. That information they like, I don't know if we found it, like that's like, I don't know if we found it as part of like a mission, or if it was like if it's something that's like born into the world. Like I don't know that part, but like they knew like the World Splitter was something coming. I'll say coming just for like ease, and they took that information on like how it could be utilized or summoned or whatever again, and like they summoned the library and put it in there, so like it hopefully be lost forever.
Yeah, no, that works perfectly actually. So that's exactly. Does Dia share any of that information with their cohorts? Like maybe on the way down? No.
It hasn't, if it's relevant.
Okay.
But otherwise she's like, she doesn't have enough data yet that's relevant information to start spreading, because she doesn't know what sharing a memory that's come back from death will do to, in theory, beings that are alive in some way.
Okay, perfect. No, that works perfectly, because The parasitic library basically digests information as its like food source. So if someone were wanting to get rid of information, like wipe it from the face of existence, that would absolutely be the way to do that. But you might be the only one that knows that. So with all that in mind, we press play on the scene again. Marcus is fiddling around on a table in the front of the main archive area with their back to you all. What do you do?
Ria, by the way, immediately is like kind of behind the two of you. Like, is shrunk down like, oh god, Marcus is on duty.
I think Vita straight up reaches out and pokes one of the more incessant demons like on Ria's forearm.
Yeah.
And like says really quietly, like, straighten up. Because they have no patience for that.
Wow.
You're saying it to the demon, but it's really a message for Ria. Is kind of what
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
The demon, by the way, the demon, like, you know, it gets poked, like the tattoo shifts and moves, and then it runs away, like it moves down into my armpit or something.
I love
you
these
know?
little guys.
Do you feel like a sensation when they're moving around?
100%. Yeah, it has to be like the most annoying kind of like little itch or like
you're being tickled.
tickled or something. Yeah, like
iconic. Okay, great. That's what I was hoping for. So
why is Ria always giggling?
So much for such anxiety.
I think Dia's just gonna like float right like next to Marcus.
Okay, they're very absorbed in what they're doing, and they sort of like have a think out loud personality. So they're like, okay, I got the batteries and the walkie talkies and everything's on the same channel. And he's like reaching out and checking them, and they're going like chirp, chirp, and you know, testing that they work. And then he's reaching over and looking at like a floor plan of the archives, and there's like a red circle on one of the lower levels. Does not clock you. I assume you're just like dead silent. Yeah.
I'm just staring at what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think after a while I'll say, what are you doing?
Do you two know each other?
I think everyone knows Dia.
Okay.
In the way that like, I think Dia's part of the like.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone
think
knows
it's-
Dia.
I think Dia's part of the fucking like orientation. Like, you see this person. No,
Right.
you didn't. Keep moving.
This is the cafeteria. That's Dia. No, it isn't.
I was gonna say, is it like everybody knows Dia, parentheses, horrifying?
Yeah, yeah.
Very scared.
It's like on orientation. Who's that?
Mm-mm. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So Marcus startles and looks at you and clocks you out and is like, oh, Omen Dia, what are you doing here?
The library's eating the archives.
Oh, yeah. Did you get my missive?
Did you send the missive?
Well, I'm sort of like I didn't assign myself and you, but I was assigned, and then I told them to come deliver and Ria and Vita. Hi.
I think Vita's using their cane to like push through lower shelves, and it's just kind of like glancing at things that are on the archive shelves.
Oh yeah, if you could not touch anything, I do have quite an extensive system for
Dia's holding
organization.
the map.
Oh, yeah, that's floor plans for all the levels of the archives.
I'm not
Points-
touching anything. I'm using a cane. I have not put my hands on any of these documents.
Okay, well, if your cane could not touch my things either.
Points at the red circle.
Yes, that's Auxiliary Archive 116, which doesn't actually exist. So that we're thinking that's the parasitic library.
puts the paper back down and walks away.
Okay.
I like. Oh, Rhea also just kind of watches you walk. I guess they're fine. What have you found?
Well, one of the interns went down and collected some files, and some of the higher ups were like, "We've never heard of or seen these files again before." And then there was a bit of an investigation into that, and yeah, Parasitic Library, not actually a part of the archives, but mimicking to be a part of the archives. So we really don't have any idea how long it's been attached. And may never have realized without the hapless nature of interns.
You didn't feel anything when it attached to the archives?
Me personally, no.
You don't have some kind of blood deep connection with the place that you rule?
I'm just a person.
Oh, right. You're the assistant. Where's the archivist? It's just some kind of giant spider guy.
He's on sabbatical.
Has he felt any kind of difference? Do you know?
I don't know. Sabbaticals are really long.
Yeah,
like years.
And he didn't reach out about any kind of change?
Well, like I said, there wasn't.
He's got a blood deep tie with the place that he rules. He would have felt a change, no?
As far as I know, he is also just a person.
Not everyone has a domain. Isn't Vita? It's a little different here, right? Like we don't all have, like, a physical space is just a place we are, not a place we belong. Does that make sense?
Well, I kind of resent that, but
that feels completely useless to me.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you form connections with places if you don't have parts of them in you and parts of you in them?
Passion?
That's not a real thing.
Experience? Excuse me?
I often find, I was told to put, like, artwork on my apartment walls to make it feel a little bit more like home. A rug, an area rug, goes
really
a long
pulls
way.
the room together sometimes.
It does, yeah.
Vita slams their cane into the ground a couple times, and you see it light up with, like, licks of flame.
Okay, no flame allowed in the archive, so if you could put that out post-haste.
It's, like, inside a tube.
Oh,
There's no chance that it's
I
gonna,
really don't care. After the incident, and kind of make side eyes over at Rhea, I really don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, Vita, we
oh my
we
God.
gotta respect the archive.
Vita grunts and says, "You're always ruining things for me, Rhea."
Couldn't agree more.
I
want to make eye contact with him.
With Marcus or
Rhea? Yeah, and try to do like a "you will love me" moment.
Oh my
God.
God.
We have this in common.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a person, so I
so
think you can do that fine.
I do actually have a move if you want me to use it.
Yeah, I think you can use it, but I don't think you need to roll. So just tell us what it does.
The move is called Call Me Master.
Okay.
Which is really
Hello?
unnecessarily horny, but it's fine.
Very horny. Knowing Ray, it's just as horny as it needs to be.
Yeah, and the description is: no one can resist the call of your dark heart, not for long. So when you declare how you mesmerize onlooking NPCs with your faded power, spend a darkness token and roll.
Okay. Well, we're gonna say that you don't need to roll. They're susceptible. They're just
so I've
a little guy. Just a little guy.
Perfect.
So yeah, you make some intense eye contact with them, and they're like, I don't think we've had the pleasure.
Vita, this is my cane. I use it to walk around in this terrible mortal sphere.
Okay, well, as long as you're just really careful with the flames, that
will not touch your many papers. I promise. I respect your many papers.
You respect my papers. Wow.
Rhea's like Mia's like kind of looking at her tattoos. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they're all like kind of, we're like
shrugging.
There's like so much of them are like throwing their hands up.
And I think Marcus like physically kind of shakes some of this infatuation off and is like,
I think when I look away, that's when.
Okay, yeah. And they're like, well, anyway, I'm meant to be your liaison into the library because due to some sort of past supernatural paranormal incident that I experienced but can't really remember, I'm immune to its memory eating habits.
That's useful.
So I'll be going in and setting up sort of a base at the door, and then you all can do what you do.
The library.
Yes, Dia. Does Dia raise her hand?
No, this is for you, the keeper. I can't stress enough when Dia walked away. Dia like left and is like going into the library.
Dia's gone.
Oh, okay. So there is a.
It is your call if it was noticed that I was going there or not, but that was my intention when you came back to me to say that's what I did.
So probably. So I think what happens is you walk off and you were not noticed because you are of the shadows. But you get to the industrial elevator and realizes that it needs a key to operate. Which you assume Marcus has. So
at this point of Marcus talking, Dia is like, you two see Dia like back behind Marcus, just standing there, and she like puts a hand on Marcus's shoulder.
Ha! Dia!
I love the jump scare cinematography that's going on here.
Okay.
I need your key.
Oh, well, we're all about to head out, right? Here, take a walkie-talkie, each of you, so we can keep in communication within the archive. And then if anyone can help me carry my bags.
No.
God.
Okay.
Here. Vita puts out.
I don't have a lot of muscle, and I'm like 5 feet tall. So
Vita puts out their cane and pushes a button, and like a little, like, hook pops out of the top, so you can put bags on there.
I love yes. That's exactly what Marcus does. Puts a big duffel bag on your hook, your cane hook.
I don't think Vita even flinches.
Oh, thank you, Vita. You're so generous.
Oh my God.
You're so welcome.
Marcus gives a side eye to Rhea at the groan that they let out.
I think I mouth. I'm like, I would have helped.
I think Vita
last
pokes
time
another
you
little
helped.
guy.
Pokes another little guy. Okay, so without further assistance, I think it begrudgingly does not want help from you, Rhea. So picks up these like 2 huge like hard cases and starts walking over to this industrial elevator. Do y'all do anything? Just follow Marcus onto it?
I went to the elevator before Marcus got
Okay.
there.
You had the key too, maybe?
I think Vita gestures for Rhea to go ahead of them and then like brings up the rear of the group.
Perfect. So you all, do you have the key? Dia?
Did she give me the key?
No.
Then no.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if you saw it. Maybe you would just take it. So they set down their hard case and then rifle around in their pockets and pull out like a notebook and like this crusty fountain pen, and then finally this like key, and it has a little like, I don't know, like Pac-Man fob on it or something. And then puts it into the insert. The gates close across this industrial elevator, and then it starts to like chug and then start descending. The descension takes a while. It is a very slow elevator, and also the location of the auxiliary archive 116 is quite far down. So you have a lot of awkward silence in a small box together while you're heading down.
I start uncomfortably grilling Marcus. I like shift in front of Marcus.
Oh,
how long has it been here?
Like I said, we don't know. If we have entered it before, people have lost their memories of doing so. So I don't know. Could have just gotten here. Could be 5 days. Could be 50 years.
You don't know what information is missing because you don't remember it.
Well, I mean, I'm just an assistant. I haven't been here that long. So, you know, if it was a while.
So are you not helpful?
Like I said, I'll be able to maintain my memories once we're inside, which does make me valuable to a...
Have you investigated if any files are only partially missing?
Well, there are files in other archives that are missing entirely, or half missing, or with some the files remain, but the text is jumbled into sort of nonsense.
Do you have any idea how powerful the files are that have gone missing?
Well, that's the concern, is that if the Parasitic Library were to get a hold of some of our closed Harbinger cases, that they could then gain the knowledge on how to open the doors for those Harbingers and bring about not one, but perhaps several apocalypses. Apocalypsi?
If you wanted to bring an apocalypse, I would have done it by now.
Well, we don't know that the library itself is... I think it's more a concern of who might, other than us, utilize the library for such information.
Worth considering that they're playing a long game, dear.
Fascinating. It would be quite the long game.
Sometimes that's worth it, you know, playing a long game where you have, you know, you take several steps towards enacting
Maybe
your
10.
plan. So that you can make sure that when you execute on your full, complete goal and plan, that you are as prepared as possible so that nothing can go wrong this time.
A war of
Speaking
attrition, then.
hypothetically.
Seemed really personal to me, actually, but...
Hypothetical, strictly.
If they're slowly taking information, it seems more like a war of attrition than a plan.
You say potato, I say potato.
I say potato, personally.
I had a friend once who called it a potato.
That's so interesting.
Boy, this elevator's really slow, right?
Glares over. Marcus glares over. Shoots Rhea a look. Are we sure that she needs to come?
Yes.
Yes, they're part of one of our most important strike teams.
Sorry, Marcus. Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry.
Rhea and the army of little demons, and then I'm gonna reach over and poke another one because you're being obnoxious.
Oh gosh.
They can prove extremely useful and are quite expendable.
Yeah, but I also have experience with Rhea not working well in a document organizational area.
That's okay.
Tell me something, Marcus.
Anything?
Can you summon countless demons to help protect us?
No.
Can you help command death?
I take my vitamins every morning.
Are you a former ruler of the underworld?
No.
Your only use is getting us to this library. Perhaps remember that before you route to one of your higher-ups.
Okay, well, Rhea's not my boss.
Don't worry, Marcus. You have more uses than that. And we have another moment of eye contact.
Thank you, mistress.
Oh my god.
What's the gender neutral mistress?
Mixtress?
Mixtress?
Mixtress. Oh my god.
I appreciate your kindness once more.
Rhea kind of looks at Dia and is like, yeah, like kind of gives you like a thank you kind of look.
Amazing.
Go ahead. You get the same blank stare that everyone gets, but you get a sense that it's saying you're welcome.
Oh yeah.
But
We're
we're just pals, lovers. I can't remember anyone's bonds. I just assume everyone's in love with everyone.
I've been rejected. I've been rejected.
Oh, well, I've been rejected and still love somebody.
Oh my god.
Marcus says Ella.
I think together the
Well,
four of
that
us
doesn't
can
mean
stop this
anything.
library. I think we can.
All right, the industrial elevator trundles to a stop, and Marcus goes, "We're here." Turns the key back. The grid of the door pushes back open, and you step out into just a very short, narrow hallway with a just plain looking door. It looks like any other door to any other part of the archive in Division. And this one says Auxiliary Archive 116 above the door in like a faint gold lettering. Here we are.
And so it's mimicking a part of the archive. So we are this because it looks normal.
Are you asking
Right.
above game, or are you asking
Maybe
in-game?
both.
Okay.
I think so. Like I think even Ria's like trying to be like this looks normal, but the idea is that you've isolated this, right?
Right. I mean, the intern gathering information from an archive that didn't exist and that we didn't have that information before. And also, I think you'll see when we go in kind of the other giveaway.
Okay.
Do you know which intern this was? I'd like to speak with them personally once we're done here.
No, they're all the same to me.
Okay, I'll look at the logs.
Okay.
These poor interns.
Dia goes in while people
All
are
right,
talking.
yeah, you push open, and the Parasitic Library takes on sort of the amalgamation of the collective idea of what libraries are to each of you
no.
personally, to what they mean throughout time, to what they mean to people in or entities in other universes. But it all of course is very like grand and majestic and just brimming with books and files and information and study tables with, you know, the little hook green glass lamps.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for each of you, sort of your idea of a library, what sort of piece do you see sort of come into existence for what your character envisions like the titular library to be?
I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Where you expect a front desk to be, there is just what feels like infinitely tall black obelisk.
Cool.
Sick. Okay.
I love that.
Love it. What about y'all?
I think the ceiling is a series of stained glass panels depicting the rise of the King of Hell.
You know, like in every library.
Yeah, a
Standard.
demonic library. Just
Super standard.
What about for Rhea?
I think for Rhea, it's like, you know, a normal library. I think a lot of just the normal standard, because Rhea used to be a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like there's like walls of VHSs that you can rent out. So it's like the
It's a
other
blockbuster.
media. It's like
And in this corner.
and in this corner is just the blockbuster.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, because you know, your library
Right,
could,
yeah. You can check out
and I
all
think-
sorts of media.
there's
Absolutely.
all sorts of media, and I think Rhea like just remembers like, you know, going there, and it's like as a kid it's like, yeah, I can get books, but like Rhea probably spent most of her time in a library as a kid and didn't go so much as an adult. So it's like, oh, I'm in a library, which means I'm looking for like where I can just rent out like cartoons
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
Right.
they're like thinking, you know, the Scooby-Doo movies are probably up for grabs over there. Yeah, perfect. So y'all see those sort of aspects of your own sort of idea of the titular ideal library, but then also the amalgamation of like everyone else's and also like the collective consciousness of what a library is in this universe and other universes. So like at some parts it's like stone columns, at other points it's like almost like a monastery with huge ancient books like flipped open on ancient wooden pedestals, but the library seems to, from a quick glance, I mean it's huge and like ever stretching, but it seems to have the sort of like main components of a library as far as like floor plan is, you know, it has the stacks, there you can see like a sign for lecture halls, an observatory, and also you can see that there's like an upper, like you're on a main floor, but there's also like multiple upper loft areas that you can reach via stairways and ladders, like Beauty and the Beast style shit, you know? So you take this in, it's a lot to take in, and it's not necessarily changing in front of you, but you have sort of this feeling of a constant shifting. And while y'all are taking that in, apparently Marcus has already seen this and is just quickly getting to setting up, opening up the hard cases, setting up like lamps, putting, you know, flipping on a generator to power everything, setting up a computer, a charge station for the walkie-talkies, etc. So what do you all do?
We should gather information.
Yeah. Do any of us get a vibe? Oh, sorry. You had more stuff to say. My bad.
If it has been devouring information from the division, we should look for information on the division in its archives.
You hear a little scoff from Marcus.
Can I help you?
I shush Marcus also.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if somebody helped me set up all this equipment.
I'm in Marcus's space.
Oh God. What I meant to say.
I kneel down to Marcus's height. I didn't mention it. I think Dia is you cannot perceive how tall Dia is. You just can feel that she's taller than you.
Right.
Yeah, like Dia's always taller than you. Right. That's the vibe.
And I like kneel, almost like shrink down the human, like his size, look him in the eyes. Do you enjoy breathing?
Well, you know, I don't know if I enjoy it. It's sort of, you know, something I do mindlessly.
And the smoke gets thicker, like around his head.
Oh no.
If it's something that you enjoy doing, Marcus, I caution you to never order me around again. You should have heard about that in orientation.
Yeah, I was joking. I'm sorry. I often get told that my my humor is quite dry.
Dia stands up and starts floating to the black obelisk.
Does she stop the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rhea like immediately is like helping set up, and I'm like, I like tell Marcus, I'm like, I'm so sorry, Marcus. It's good. It's fine. It's like I'm sorry.
It's fine. I should have known better. Even if, you know, omens aren't my boss, they're still, you know, my boss. You know what I'm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I mean, you not you though.
It's very important to remember who has power in any given situation.
Right. Well, I have the power of knowledge.
That only gets you so far.
That is so true, Mixtress. Can I have another one?
Oh my God.
Incredible. Just no, it's perfect. We're just gonna stay here and watch Marcus worship.
Yeah. Rhea's like, stop digging, like, please.
One of the portions of like my plan is that I can prepare a new vessel to hold like my
Yes,
demonic
incredible.
parasites.
Perfect.
Marcus alone. He's just a little
Oh.
baby.
He's just a
My
little guy.
He's a
God.
little guy.
Listen, he could serve a greater purpose.
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do that to Marcus. It's funny. It's
You know, I'm
funny.
just saying it's a possibility.
Just saying you never know.
Rhea, you are helping Marcus.
Yeah.
Are you doing this in an attempt to sort of rectify the rift between you, or is it just sort of something you would normally do for somebody? I guess I'm kind of asking if you are trying to have a heart to heart with them.
Oh, that would be nice to do. I
'Cause
think
we could have our first roll.
Yeah. I think that would be nice. Like,
Yeah.
this is especially like after that whole, it's like I'm like, hey, I understand. Like, one of our coworkers is the successor to death. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It's fine. It's cool. Like, I'm normal. We're normal. I have demons, but we're normal. Like, like I'm trying to.
Well,
see
you
if
have
things get
literal
better.
demons.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
You know.
Sometimes working here, I just feel so insignificant.
what do you mean, Marcus?
Well, I don't know. Like when you hacked up the archives, I just had to pick up each of those pieces of paper one at a time and put them back. But you could have had your demons like go around. I mean, if they were chill, go around and pick them all up and help you, or like, Dia could have used their like smoke to put it back or something. I don't know everybody's abilities, but you know what I mean? Everyone
No, I get it.
is much more capable than me at things, even mundane things. Not even, getting into just like the superhuman shit that they can do. It's like, I don't know, maybe Dia's right.
No, listen, Marcus.
I don't actually have a purpose. Why am I even here?
I
Don't
mean,
talk
you,
about yourself like that.
you said that your knowledge is your power. Like I can't list off registries. Like if I asked you, hey, could you pull this file? I mean, it'll take me so long. People will get really mad at me. You're so good at this. Like
Is that before or after you destroy things?
you're not helping, Vita.
You're not helping, Vita. I mean, I just doesn't even feel like anybody cares about the Dewey Decimal System anymore. Like, why did I get a degree in library sciences?
Well, see, but you care, right? Like that's special, right? You care about the Dewey Decimal System. That's your superpower, Marcus. I got demons that I gotta babysit. You're good at putting books on shelves. Like I can't do that. You think Dia's gonna go out there and pick out books? No, they probably.
Well, there's a difference
crumble?
between can and won't.
Suppose so.
I don't know. Maybe I should just put in my resignation.
No. Don't.
Well, I don't know. If you were in my position, what would you do?
Day.
And you're needed for this mission.
Why?
Because your brain is it can't lose the memories.
So true.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna lose shit while we're down here. That makes you stronger than all of us.
I think Vita leans on their cane and like bends down a little bit to make eye contact with Marcus again and says, I need you here.
Oh.
Well, maybe that is kind of a superpower, being immune to memory loss.
Yeah. You probably don't forget where your car keys are.
I don't even have a car, so how could I?
Yes, yeah, right?
Do you ever feel like you don't belong, Rhea?
I'm sorry. We're doing this while like putting shit like at this. What are we even setting up anymore?
It's like a base station.
I love it. I'm like, what?
Lots of C stands and lots of C stands.
What did he ask?
Do you ever feel like you don't belong?
I think Rhea just looks at Marcus and goes, "Yeah, bud. Yeah." I like point to Vita, point to Vita. These are my coworkers.
Yeah, not bud.
You're fucking lucky.
All right, let's. You think this calls for a reveal your heart?
I would love to reveal my heart.
Do you? Oh, I don't think you have any darkness tokens yet,
I don't
eh?
have any darkness
So you can't add
tokens,
anything to it. So it'll just be a straight roll.
All right. Let's click to roll. What did I roll? I got a 9.
A 9 is a success.
A success.
So your heart reaches theirs. Choose one. If they are a PC and they choose to deepen the connection for, they choose one too. So it's an NPC, so you'll just choose one. Your options are you grow closer, gain 1 bond on them. They soothe your heart, clear 1 condition. They taught you something important, mark XP. They gave you hope, clear 1 mark of ruin.
Let's get a bond on Marcus.
Yeah, you're sort of mending the fences here. Absolutely. And I think at the end of the interaction, Marcus turns to you and sort of under their breath is like, "Thanks for the help." Rhea.
I think like Rhea like smiles. It's like kind of maybe even some of the imps are. I'm trying to think. Are the imps like unhappy about this, or are they also happy about
That's up to you. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they are like.
You said they reflect your emotions. I think so.
Oh yeah. So maybe it's good.
Maybe they're having a little bacchanal on your body.
Yeah, I think it's more funny if like I can't hide my emotions. That's the thing with them. So they're like having a fun time. Yeah, I'm like, anytime, Marcus.
And I think like I'm picturing like he goes in for a high five, but then you do a fist bump, and then his hand just sort of just something awkward like that.
Oh, no.
So some time has passed since you got this mission and sort of your daily activities. And the progression of the Parasitic Library's role at Division moves ever onward. And I am going to tick 1 slice of the Doomsday Clock. So we are 1 step closer to the impending apocalypse. And it remains to be seen if you can stop it or not. Now, every time the Doomsday Clock is ticked, something happens. It can be a moment, an event, intrigue, and of course, at the final tick, the door opens if you haven't sorted it out yet. So for this first one, it's a moment. Everything's set up. Y'all are sort of standing in front of the base station, attaching your walkie-talkies, looking out onto the to the Parasitic Library and all it has to offer you, when a flurry of loose pages swirls in this sort of very sudden and momentary storm. And just as soon as it started, settles down on the ground. And the pages that were a part of it, they all appear to be from different sources. Vita, who... it says who sees, but I think we didn't have you answer a question earlier, so I'm going to ask you directly. You see a terrible truth laid bare amongst these pages. What is it? We can brainstorm too if you're not finding anything. Okay.
And it is cryptic.
I love it.
My thought is, you can stop it once, but you'll ultimately fail. And if we want to expand on that, by all means.
That's horrifying. Anyone want to add to that? You see a terrible truth laid bare amongst these pages. I guess my question is like, is it look like it was like part of a book and that part just very specifically got ripped out? Is it a handwritten note from somebody? Is it like, is it put together like a ransom note? Like what is sort of the design of that message?
I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's like a piece of like Times New Roman size 12 font that's like ripped on all the edges. And I think that we can see part of another sentence like above it. But can't actually read what it says.
Yeah. I love it. Do you so Vita sees that. Do you pick it up and show it to folks? Do you keep it to yourself? Do you pretend I do not see?
I think in an attempt to make both Rhea and Dia, wow, yeah, the Dia thing.
It's a sitcom.
Like feel more indebted to or grateful for my presence. I would show it to both of them.
They're like, I'm helping.
Yeah.
All right, so Vita shows this this terrible truth written on a ripped out piece of paper from what looks like a regular like book or paper, like essay.
Okay.
I think it looks like it came from a book.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Yeah?
Are you doing this in character or above?
What is this from a book? What book is this? Who wrote this crap?
Whose chairs are these? So I think when all of you set eyes on it, there is a bit of a if you have skin, a bit of goosebumps that go across it, or maybe for Rhea, you can feel like the little demons on your skin sort of shiver.
Yeah.
The other question is, what future event is written out here, framed as an inescapable tragedy? So it could be related to that piece or something totally different. And that's open to the floor.
What were the words again exactly?
What future event is written out here, framed?
Oh no, on the page. Sorry,
you can stop it once we ultimately fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it is the division. I think it is something that, because we know like we work in like this branch of the division, there's other ones, but I think it is like something that we know to represent like I don't know, some sort of like super hub somewhere in like some weird extra dimensional space, like of the division, like collapsing. Not even collapsing, like folding in on itself.
Ooh.
So another division folding in on itself.
Yeah. I think like the like something
like,
that like meant to be like it's like the like capital
Like headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not a branch, not like this is like I don't know where Mixed Division themselves resides.
Yeah.
The international headquarters folding in on itself in sort of like a black hole kind of energy, or like physically like a when they demolish a building, or
I'll leave that to the floor.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
either
What do
way.
you
Well, I'm thinking something about like how maybe it's because like if you can kind of commute to the division just by thinking about it, like maybe it's the thought space, like the division headquarters exists kind of as like as that interspace, you know? Does that make sense? Like it's really big. So it's like it doesn't actually have a physical space, but if you think about going to division headquarters, you will go there and you're kind of in this strange. So maybe it's like the thought of the division implodes.
Like
the library eats the division.
Yeah.
Like the concept of it.
Oh, the concept of it.
And then there's no longer a division a program to help keep back the apocalypse.
I like that.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's terrifying. That's cool.
So scary.
Chestnut checkers.
Yeah. We're playing. This is a big boy time.
And how does that appear to all of you? Is it like written? Is it a painting that, like a piece of a painting that flutters down? Is it like a little picture of a kitten, but when you look at it, you know?
I'm thinking maybe something like that. Like it's in itself innocuous, but it's the thought of it that makes sense.
Okay.
I
But
feel
it,
like it's
but it
the
implants
effects-
this thought in your head.
Yeah, I feel like I like the effect of Lisa for Vita when you like look into their eyes, like it's like what did you see kind of thing. I think it's
Mhm.
something like that. Like we look at it and it's like that's like what we see.
Yeah, I like that.
So what is it?
Oh, what's the picture?
Or if it's an item or something that could have, been brought here in a small maelstrom.
I think it's
A cootie catcher.
no, I think it's a picture. I think it's a picture of like it's like an office space ad. It's like rent office space here, $400 a month, like or some like
What
something
era
like
does
that.
it look like it's from?
The 1940s.
Okay. Right off the
Okay.
space here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I love it.
And like we know it's
But you look
Oh.
on it and all you simultaneously understand that it's close to an inevitability that the sort of liminal space of the non-physical ultimate headquarters of Division is on its way to implode and erase every knowledge of its existence and the concept of what it is and what it does.
I think
And
Rhea like
go ahead.
sits down. I think Rhea like kind of stumbles even. Is like,
Okay.
oh no. Oh, that's heavy.
And I think Marcus comes over and is like, "What's wrong, everyone?"
Don't look at it, Marcus.
I
Don't
think
look-
Vita tells Marcus it's coming and it's already gone at the same time.
it's coming, but is this a riddle? I love riddles.
I'm going to speak with the librarian, Dia says, and goes back to going up to the obelisk.
Perfect. And as you approach the obelisk, we do in fact see a tall, slender figure step out from behind the obelisk, take their glasses and push them down, and looks down their nose directly at you, Dia, as they approach. And that is where we're going to end our session.
Oh.
Oh.
I wasn't prepared for a person to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Me-
Ask
me,
and you
Austin.
shall receive. But thank you all so much for joining us for episode 1 of our Apocalypse Keys mini series. That was so much fun. Let's go around the horn and everybody say who you are, where folks can find you, and plug away. Austin, you want to start us off?
Yeah. What's up? My name is Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. I just got done playing Dia, the Shade, whose pronouns are she, they. Me, Austin, though, is an award-winning game writer, designer, performer, and friend. You can find me most places on the internet at Sailor's Since that Sailor, SCT Austin. That's all I was asked to say.
Okay, you can say whatever you want, to be fair. If you want to, if you have a cool tagline or...
No, the cool tagline's at the front. Find me on social media to see what I'm up to. Mostly right now, it's dunking on the Flash movie because everything I'm actually working on is under NDA. So,
Ooh.
I have not seen your Flash dunking
I know, I
tweets.
gotta-
hey, you want to hear the? You want to hear the newest one? Want to hear the newest one?
Yeah.
They're doing buy one get one free tickets for the Flash. Those sales are in the trash.
Oh, no.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Never
They're
ever.
covering- doing
Pop
that?
culture. They are literally Fandango has buy one get one free tickets.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
really
I've
bad.
never
That's kind of
heard of
sad.
Wow.
in my
really bad.
entire time researching and covering pop culture, I've never heard of that. Those sales are in the gutter.
Wow. Joe in
Just-
chat says my mom got tickets for free.
That's rough.
They're just giving moms free
They're
tickets
just
out
loving
here.
mom's free tickets.
According to the last data I was able to pull from the 19th, they still hadn't broken even yet on that movie.
I didn't even know it was out, so that makes sense to me.
Oh my god! Just watch Spider-Verse.
So go follow Austin on Twitter, and you too can know more about such things. Viditya.
All right, yeah. Hey everyone. I've been Viditya. I use he him pronouns. I played Rhea, who was the Surge. And you can find me online everywhere at Viditya Valetti. That's my first and last name. And you can find my games. I'm a game designer. And you can find my games at vidyavaletti.itch.io. I got two small little plugs for that. I just put out a little thing. Yesterday was Free RPG Day. For Free RPG Day, I released a little 8-page single sheet zine called Fill in the Blank World, and it's a DIY game. So the entire zine is kind of laid out for you, and you just kind of fill in the blanks, and you kind of make a game by doing so. So if you have never made a game before, here's a good time to do it. It takes like 5 minutes. If you're a veteran game designer, it's a fun little exercise. It's a fun little thing. So go ahead and try that out. Also, I have a game called Bloodbeam Badlands. It's about gunslinging vampires in a post-apocalypse where the sun never sets. And right now, for about I think the last week, so until June, there is a game jam being run for it by a friend of the show, a friend of mine. Read the Fucking Manual, RTFM podcast by Aaron King and Max. Oh no, I forgot Max's last name. But they are lovely people. Yeah, they're lovely people. They're running a game jam for Bloodbeam Badlands. If you like that game or are interested, it's very easy to make stuff for it. And I wanted to just shout that out.
Hell yeah. And we have actually played Bloodbeam Badlands on this channel. So if you want to check the VODs on the YouTube for that, it was such a good time. There was a giant T-Rex for it with a gun for a head.
Right? Revolver face.
Revolver face, you know. The guy. Don't remember his last name. And last but certainly not least, Samantha.
It's me. Hello, I'm Sam or Samantha. My pronouns are she, they, and I've been playing Vita, whose pronouns are they, them. When I'm not here doing this with these incredible people, it's been so much fun sharing a table. You can also catch me as Brine over in Death to Divinity, which airs every other Saturday, but our season 3 premiere is coming up, so don't get too excited. You can also find us on YouTube if you want to catch up. And then I also do a lot of writing. I'm a journalist and editor, and if you want to check that out, you can look at my website, which is linked on my various social media accounts, which are all under the Verbal Thing. Except here on Twitch, where I am Gremfrems, which is for a secret thing that has not yet launched. So that's what I got.
Oh my god. In and out of character. Secrets. And hey, that's the face the guy at the end of the episode made. You did the thing. And I've been Vanna. I was your keeper. I stream full-time right here at twitch.tv/Vanna, V-A-N-A. And you can catch me playing the Vidya games. I just started Tears of the Kingdom, and we're having a great time with that. And then I've also been playing a lot of indie demos for the Steam Next Fest. And eventually, higher education will be back as soon as I figure out executive functioning. But yeah, so make sure you drop a follow, and please follow our entire cast. Thank you to the mods, always keeping it safe, friendly, and fun in here. Thank you to everybody who supported us today. We hit halfway point, $100 on our tip goal. Thank you. And thank you again to our sponsor, Evil Hat, and shout out to Ray for not only making the game but hanging out today. That was so nice of them. And yeah, y'all were my cast. You were amazing today, and audience, so were you. And we will see you next time on July 9th at the 7 p.m. EST, I think. So stay tuned on Twitter. I'll let you know. Y'all are amazing. We're going to go on a little raid, but we are going to peace out, and we'll see you next time. And goodbye.
Goodbye.